Good morning, everyone. It is Tuesday, June 2nd, and as you saw the note that went out yesterday, we are preparing our reopening. Please make sure to join us tonight for our town hall meeting so we can explain, perhaps in greater detail than what was written in the letter, and we want to have a smooth transition into this new reality, and which that in and of itself will be changing as we go along. But we hope that everyone will just have the opportunity to understand what it is that we're trying to accomplish. And please make sure that you avail yourself of that email and also of the sign-up sheet for when it comes to attending the minyanim. It's going to take a lot of moving parts at first, but once we get the hang of it, I'm sure we'll be fine and we'll handle it with aplomb. Please continue to daven for Refuah Shalema, for Mordechai ben Elka, Robert Fall Zev ben Rickel, Gittel bas Sarah, Noah, Ali, Spat, Lilach, Esther, Razel, Batsara, and all those who need our healing. We should also pray for a bit of healing in the world, which is sorely needed at this time. I wanted to take this opportunity to wish a Mazel Tov to Alicia and Alan Pines. Yesterday celebrated their 40th wedding anniversary. Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov. You should continue to have many more years, happy years together, and to see so much nachas from your children and your beautiful grandchildren, Kain Yirbu, and may the simchas continue for many years to come. As I mentioned yesterday, our video, Divrei Torah, for the entire week are being sponsored by our dear friends Ellie and Stephen Hammerman in Arizona. And each day I would just like to share a little bit about them with you, about our relationship. So a highlight in the summertime in Atlantic Beach was Shabbos afternoon. We would sit and learn Perek Avos, as I said yesterday. It would follow by halacha shir, and then we would daven, and then we would have shal shudas. And the shal shudas went all year round. Now, those here in Eitz Chaim know that when I introduced certain new songs to shal shudas, even though we still sing them, let's just say I'm the only one who's really singing them, particularly when it comes to Askinu Sudasa. But in Atlantic Beach, I don't know how it came about, but I added in Baruch Kel Elyon. So for those who know, Baruch Kel Elyon is typically sung at Shabbos day meal. And some people do sing it at Shal Shudas, which is why I did that. But it's we called it the fight song. It's a bit of a dirge, and it starts off slow, and then it picks up. And there was a lot of table banging, and we called it the fight song. And that became a staple, not only at the shul and Shal Shudas, but also representing our relationship, that it was a fight song. So, Ellie and Stephen, thank you again for giving us so many memories, and for sharing your kindness with us here at Eitz Chaim, all the way from Arizona. And it was nice to hear from the family yesterday. And again, I continue to really treasure our relationship that we've had for so many years, and God willing, for so many more years to come. So I want to continue where yesterday's Mishna, where we left off, another aspect of the Mishna. Again, I'm studying from this not yet printed manuscript of Rabbi Norman Lamm, Zichrono Livracha, from his commentary on the second chapter of Avos, and I'm hoping that one day the family will publish the entire volume, because it's really such a treasure. But the Mishnah had said, Ezo derech sheyavar min adam. So Rebbe said, what is the proper path, what is the straight path that a person can choose? So Rabbi Lamm, at the very end of the commentary on this Mishnah, he talks about choices. He said some people, when they think of Judaism, they think Judaism means that there's only one way to go. Even when you talk about halacha, that's it. There's only one way to do things. That's it. Or it's my way or the highway. And I want to read with you his commentary and perhaps expound on it. The halachic way does not mean that we no longer have any choices. I think that's a fallacy, one that I think is unfortunate. We seem to feel that once we accept the halachic commitment, the halacha restricts us totally. On the contrary, the halachic commitment enhances our need to choose rather than robbing us of our freedom. Halacha covers a great many facets of life, but not everything. Otherwise, the Rambam wouldn't say in Kedoshin, for example, that it's possible to be what's called a novel b'rishus haTorah. There, when the Ramban talks about Kedoshim Tihu, what does that mean? You should be sanctified. So he said it's possible that someone could follow all the mitzvahs of the Torah, but you could be gluttonous. So the Torah says you could eat kosher food, but it doesn't mean that you should fress. So the Ramban says, Nachmanides, that if a person would fress, that's called Naval Bereshus HaTorah, that you can still all do all the halacha demands of you and still be a rascal, a scoundrel. And he explains that. I don't believe that in all instances there's only one way, because if there were only one way, you wouldn't have Hasidim, Misnagdim, you wouldn't have Sfardim and Ashkenazim, Torah im derech eretz, Torah mada, rationalist, anti-rationalist, or Musar and anti-Musar. You have so many different views and visions within the context of halachic Judaism that to say that there's only one way is a major fallacy. And that's the beauty of who we are, and that's the beauty of modern Orthodoxy as well, is that we live in the modern world, we live in a modern society, and we understand and we have a fealty to halacha, and we respect and honor the halacha, but we also recognize that there are times when we have to make choices. And I think that during the last 3 months, and particularly going in the next few days, of how we're going to run things, it involved a great many choices. And not every shul and not every community is doing things the same way. We all agreed to do it at the same time, to follow that structure. But how each shul is going to handle themselves, well, that's at the responsibility of each shul. So it wouldn't be fair for us to point fingers and look at other synagogues and say, well, they're doing this and they're doing that, and they read Torah this way. That's great. But you know what? In halacha, we have choices. And in our shul, we have choices. And there's a method to the madness, so to say. There's a reason why we are coming about with these types of choices. Over the years, with Ellie and Stephen, we had many, many conversations about this very topic, about what it is that God wants from you and the choices that we make. I was always fond of, Steve always used to say to me that, when we would daven so long, Steve was not a big fan of long davening. And he would always say, maybe God is up in heaven saying, leave me alone already. Go ahead and do your thing. Or he would say, go on the honor system. Daven at home. Well, we've been doing that for the last 3 months. But Steve, everything that you've said to me, Ellie, everything you've taught me over the years, they have stayed with me and will stay with me for the entirety of my life. So thank you for that. I hope everyone has a great day. Again, town hall meeting tonight. Don't miss it. Looking forward to see you all later tonight at 8 p.m.